Hi, thanks for joining me for this brief tutorial on the MicroMD batch basket. MicroMD version 8.1 of the EMR has added the batch basket feature, allowing users to store documents for printing and faxing at a central location. The batch basket from the EMR is found by going to the File drop-down menu and choosing Batch Basket. You'll notice in the batch basket window you have filters that can be set and allow you to display the different batch basket criteria that is chosen. For example, in the patient drop down, if documents are associated with a patient, I can pull and say only show me documents pertaining to that patient. Additionally, I could choose what the status of those documents are, etc. So as you can see, these have already been printed, but let's go ahead and open up Test MSA's chart and look at that. By going into the chart and then choosing Document Manager. In the Document Manager, I can come down and I can add documents to the batch basket by going into the folder structure just as you normally would to print. But in this case, I would be selecting those documents for putting in the batch basket. And I do that by going into the file, right-clicking the document, and choosing Batch Document. Alternately, when you select the document, on your toolbar you have the icons here. So you can either right-click or choose the icon up at the top. In the batch basket name, if a batch basket does not already exist, you would go ahead and create a new one by typing anything here. I'm going to go ahead and just select the existing Test MSA. It is important to know that once you've created the batch basket, you want to go ahead and use the drop down arrow to select it rather than retyping it, because if I were to type this differently by not including the space in between the comma and the MSA, I would have a separate batch basket. So here it said health history. It just pulled the title here, but I could override it and just say history or whatever I want the document to say. And accept dumps that into my batch basket. Then I can go and highlight the next document I want to go there and include it as well. Again, using my drop down to select the basket I want it to go in, or typing a new basket name if I need to create a new basket. I can leave the document name. I can even add a date or information at the end if I want to. And I would hit accept once I'm ready to add it to my batch basket. Once I've collected the documents that I want or need, I can close out. I don't have to go right away into the batch basket and process those. I could do that later in the day after I have several different print or fax jobs to handle. But let's just go ahead back to File, Batch Basket for processing, and let's look and see what we have. So again, my filter by default is set to all, but I want to make sure I'm only filtering on Test MSA, the patient. And here I can see all of those things. Now, I can also see that the status on some of these is already printed. I'm only concerned with those things that have not yet been processed. So I'm going to choose none. I would check mark the documents I want to send, and I would use the Publish button at the bottom, which will allow me to print or print to fax if you're using a third-party faxing solution. And from there, it just opens up the print dialog windows that you're used to. We'll look at that in a moment. Patient portal. If you are subscribing to the patient portal and it was active, this link would not be grayed out, and I would be able to publish these documents to the patient portal, which allows the patient to log in through their secure connection and view the documents, lab results, anything like that. Anything that the practice needs or wants them to see. And finally, fax. If this option is not grayed out, that means that you subscribe to the integrated interfax solution for MicroMD's EMR, which is basically a fax in and out service that is fully integrated with the EMR, allowing you to fax documents in and out of the EMR. Those people using a third-party faxing solution like ZetaFax or SnappyFax or any other faxing solution would use print just like you normally do. And when the print dialog window comes up, you would choose your fax as your printer rather than an actual paper printer or PDF printer. Once you choose the print option, I'm going to go ahead and just print to PDF. I would say OK. Of course, if you were doing a fax, you would go ahead and set up your fax to send the documents the way you normally do. It opens up your fax interface that you're normally working with. So that part we won't provide training on because it differs from one fax program to another. I'm just going to name the document so that it's saved and take care of that. And so at the bottom, when I open back up my batch basket, I don't have any more incomplete jobs. Now, I could have other incomplete on different patients. So I'm just going to set it back to non-patient. And I could set this to all, and I'll bring back all documents. Now, this can get a little bit cumbersome. After you've processed documents and you're not needing them anymore, you're going to want to go ahead and delete them out of your batch basket. And I'm going to say yes. Once you've deleted, however, they will not display. Even if you come in choosing deleted, you're not going to be able to view those documents. So you just need to decide if you're doing a lot of documents going in the batch basket, you're going to want to go ahead and delete as you use those. You might wait a day or two to make sure there are no issues with the fax being received and clean them up that way. Additionally, you can leave the documents if you want and not delete, because you can set the filter to go back in time or look at certain days, so you're not necessarily having to look at everything. My date range is set to all, so it's not even looking at the range, but I could filter it. This is basically a user discretion. How you want to deal with things is completely up to you. So let's just recap on adding documents to the batch basket. I would open the patient chart, go into their document manager, and pull the documents. I can also, if I print documents, like if I printed an order that was created on the system, anywhere I can print out of MicroMD now, I'm going to have the option to print into my batch. And that would just go into the batch basket, allowing me to compile that with other documentation for faxing and or printing. So let's go ahead and look at one other item that's been enhanced slightly while we're in this area. I'm opening up just a PDF document that's in this patient's chart. And if you recall, there are two different icons up at the top allowing you to add a page note or a comment to the document. So let's discuss the difference. First of all, notice we only have a single page. A page note is only going to relate to the page that's displaying. So if I had multiple pages and I added a page note, I would only see that page note on the first page, or the page that I had open at the time I created the note. And here's what the page note looks like. Click in here, and this is a page note. I'm going to hit save on that. Additionally, I have the ability to add a comment. So the page note is associated with this fax. Let's go ahead and close that, and let's open up something else. And we'll do this health history. And here, let's use the comment. It looks exactly the same. The difference between page note and comment is associated with the entire document. So that would mean if I had 5 pages to this document, this comment would be associated with all 5 pages. Where if I put a page note, it's only associated with the page displaying. In the event you have a document where it's been scanned in and it may have it's a PDF that may have multiple pages, but the system's only seeing it as a single document, then it's going to say page down here 1 of 1. Even though you could scroll through and see 4 or 5 pages, that's still considered a single page according to MicroMD, and a page note would be associated. However, if I have 5 different pages down here and it says 1 of 5, that's where the page note could be associated with a particular page. What's nice about the notes that we can add to these is the system does allow you to search. So if there's certain documentation that you want to be able to find quickly, you can add a comment and or page note, and when you hit the search and you type in the search field, you say you want to search a note and I want it to be my page note. I'm just going to search the word page. I can see, well, I had a prior one as well. So in this one, I had page notes. And in those page notes, it has the word page, just like this one. In the page notes, has the word page. And the same if I were to go search comment, I'm going to get the same result. Anything in the comment, like that health history we just did, I would be able to find. And if I go into the comments, I can see that they had the word comment in them. So the page notes and the comments just allow you to use this search feature to find documents. Again, in the search, you can also just search for, in that patient, certain names. So if you name something labs or etc., you can also use it for that purpose. It'll search on the title. It'll also search on the page notes and comments. Remember that any document you want to add to a batch basket, you can either right-click it and choose batch document, or with the document highlighted, choose the batch icon up top. You'll also find on the practice management side that when you print documents in the practice management side, it will also allow you to batch, and those documents will display here in your EMR batch basket. So if you wanted to print the patient demographic and then print it to your batch basket, you would be able to have that here if needed. This concludes our brief tutorial on the EMR batch basket and searching documents in Document Manager. Thank you.